I've been experimenting with MCP servers, and if some of you don't know, MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol, um, you can think of this as sort of a bridge between the LLM agent and different tools, different third-party services. So in this case, I'm using the File System MCP server, which is going to allow the agent here to read files, write files, edit files, create new directories, that sort of thing. Basically start new repos on your computer. And then the Playwright MCP is really cool because it's allowing you to open up a browser, navigate through the browser, type things within the browser, take screenshots, perform different browser actions. My goal here today is to basically go to Barrington Books website and search for the Web Automation Playwright book by Kailash Pathak. Great book, definitely check it out if you haven't already. And I want to add this product to the cart, select New York as the desired state, and calculate the shipping cost. And so with the Claude agent enabled and these MCP servers, when I ask it to go to this website, it's actually going to open it in a headed view and perform these actions right in front of us. So if you haven't set up an MCP server before in Cursor, you'll need to make sure that you have the Node.js installed in your computer first, because we are running Node packages here. But you can open up your Cursor settings, you can head over to MCP, and then you can click the Add New MCP Server, and this is what they look like. And so I'll drop in the comments, but you can find the Microsoft Playwright MCP server information here on GitHub. I copy pasted this into Cursor, and then the file system is also on GitHub as well. So we have these already integrated, and let's try running our prompt. So first we have to grant the tool permission to access the browser, and you can open up and see exactly what it's doing. So I'm gonna run this tool. Okay, now we're opening up the browser. Let's get everything in view here. Okay, so we're on Barrington Books, and now we're going to search for the book by Kailash Pathak about web automation with Playwright. So as you can see, we've typed that in. Great. We found the book, and now we will add it to the cart. So it's found this element, add to cart button. As you can see, I've ran this test many times, so I didn't clear the cookies or history here. That's why we have 6 in the cart. But anyways, let's keep going. The view cart. Okay, so now we have this in our cart, and let's hit the checkout button. Okay, now we're on the checkout screen, and we've already pre-filled it with New York. So let's calculate the shipping. Great. Now we have our results, and right here in the chat here we can see the results. But now what I want to do is maybe take it a step further here, and I want to ask Claude to generate a Playwright test script based on our workflow. So let's do that. I want to generate a Playwright test script based on this workflow. Let's say I want it in JavaScript. Let's say, please, I like to ask it please sometimes. Please follow the Playwright best practices. According to Playwright's official documentation. And here's another trick that I have just learned with Cursor. So if you wanted to refer to a framework's documentation, let's say, before, I would paste into the prompt things from the docs. I'd go to Playwright, I'd copy and paste all of this stuff and throw it into the docs to give it more context to have a better output. But recently I've learned this trick, and you can find this in the Cursor docs, how you can add or use official docs and have them indexed and crawled just automatically. So to do that, you would just throw in this @ sign here, head over to the docs section, and you'll see there's already a bunch of official preloaded docs in here, but we're going to need to add. So let's go here and let's add, let's just add this, since we're talking about locators here. All right, so we're going to add this doc, and you can go ahead, it's already kind of auto named it here, so put that in here. Let's see, must already have something saved. All right, so now we've added the docs, and let's say create the root directory on my desktop. I want this only to run in Chrome. And let's start with that and see. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it's going to create a Playwright test script, and now we are calling the MCP tool the File Systems tool. So it's going to create this on my desktop, and it's going to now start developing the product structure with the necessary files. It's going to create a package.json. And so you see this is the file system. We have create directory, write file. This is all using the File Systems MCP tool. Okay, now it's going to create the Playwright configuration file to have Chrome as the only browser, as I asked. And you can always just click and see, what exactly it's doing here. So it's writing the test script, and now, it's even creating a README. That's nice. Okay, so now it's finished, and it's telling us that I have created a Playwright automation project on your desktop that automates the workflow that you performed on the Barrington Books website. Here's what I've created. Package.json with the dependencies, a config configured only to run in Chrome, git ignore. The test script follows Playwright's best practices using modern locators as recommended in the documentation, follows the page object model approach, includes proper verification steps, and even takes a screenshot of the shipping options. Interesting. Okay, so now let's check that out. So let's open a new folder here. Let's head over to my desktop, and here it is. Config file that it's generated for us. We can see that we have the base URL in the config file here. We have trace on first retry and screenshot on only on failure, and then we can see as I asked that we're only running this project in Chrome. Let's check the README. So the README is just kind of going over the basic test scenario and the workflow, and then just a basic on how to set up the dependencies and running the tests. So let's check out the test that it's generated for us. So we can see that we're searching for the Playwright book and checking the shipping to New York. We're going to go to the base URL here. We're going to assert that at least the site has the correct title, and then we're going to search for the book. And so as we can see here, we are using role-based selectors, which I believe is generally a good practice when choosing selectors, so it's great. Again, we're doing role-based selectors here, 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 and then I see that for some reason we have switched to using CSS selectors. Interesting. And then we're going to expect these different shipping prices. So I would say the test script, looks decent, looks solid. Let's try running it here, and I'm gonna run it in the Playwright extension here, and let's run it headed. So okay, so we've got to the checkout screen here, and looks like we have a hang up here. Okay, so it looks like we have tried to fill the city input right here, but we have entered a strict mode violation because there's multiple elements matching the same locator. So to me, this seems like a really basic, simple mistake, and it also really highlights a limitation. I mean, even when we've told it to follow best practice, the AI, of course, makes some errors. Now we could, go and just easily fix that ourselves. I mean, despite this issue, I think, this has created a nice, starting point with some good, overall structure and foundation of a test script. I mean, I think fixing a minor locator issue is pretty straightforward. I mean, obviously, we could even go further and probably ask Claude to fix this for us. Let's try that. Just see what it does here. Maybe even give it the full error message for context. it's looking through our spec file now, and it's promising to fix this issue. Okay, so now it's narrowed it down by first going into the delivery section and using a role-based selector to select that, and then we're going to, within the delivery section, get by label, city, and fill that. So let's see if that resolves the issue. Okay, now it looks like we have resolved that issue, but I think we're running into another hang up here. Yep, and that's with this CSS locator. And so, I mean, still, once again, we've gotten a lot of the legwork and the architecture of the test script out of the way, and just with a little bit of debugging and fixing some of these broken locators, we could have, you know, a pretty good starting point for a test script. So I hope this has been beneficial to those of you just experimenting with MCP and the power of AI. And like I said, I will drop all of the resource links in the comments of this video. Thank you.